Hey, all right, all right. Well, listen, welcome everybody to next episode, upcoming episode of Conversations with Geoff, man. We've got some fire coming to you, baby. I know we've got this guy. We were fortunate enough to get him rescheduled, so clear your calendar for the next, couple of days, the next 30, 40 minutes, and let's have a conversation, right? Oh, man, because listen, what if the system you trusted your entire life was never designed to make you wealthy? I want you to think about that as we go through this show today, right? I know most entrepreneurs feel that way. And listen, I was talking to our guest before about all these crazy things that are happening, and he's saying something is shifting. But then he said something. He said, "We are being inundated with information, not being sure what to do with it, grasping on what we can do, what we can't do, to make educated decisions, not be taken advantage of," which he's going to talk to you about in his experience, right? And really just get some clarity on where your life can settle into this moving a million miles an hour day around technology, right? And this gentleman, man, he has been through it, right? So let me get to that. Before I do, though, I always like to let you know who you're listening to. For those of you who don't know, my name is Geoff Tyson, affectionately known as the Comeback King. And excuse me one second, I have something in my throat. Hey, a little smoothie with some nuts in it or something. But anyway, I'm the host of Conversations with Geoff, and our mission is to amplify the message of the power of the comeback and seeing it not as a limitation, but as you're going to hear from this speaker, seeing it as a lifestyle, a focus on the possibilities, a focus on the comeback muscle, right? A focus on standing in your purpose in the most difficult times, man. So there's a movement around that feeling and that emotion. You're going to see how he's done that in his life, right? And so, our guest coming up, it's got some interesting stuff going on, man. So, excuse me. Dr. Berger has lived through every major disruption, right? Well, most recently, 9/11, the 2008 housing crash, and the recent financial shifts, right? That whole thing going from the old traditional ways of cash in your pocket to no cash in your pocket, and everything being electronically moved through it and all that stuff, right? Make that shift. So fragile traditional systems really are. He didn't retreat though, he repositioned. Now he's helping entrepreneurs understand what's really happening beneath the surface, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about the shift into blockchain and AI and some of the emerging technologies. What real opportunities are being created right now, are being created right now, how to stop playing by outdated financial rules. Ooh, you better circle that one, baby, because some stuff is shifting faster. I mean, what true wealth actually looks like in this new era will be another picture of it. Because this isn't just about making money, it's about building leverage. That's what I love. Financially, mentally, and strategically. Ooh, man, this is all right. So you're not left reacting while others are positioning. So I want to ask you, what is your position? Where are you positioning? And I'm going to tell you, if you listen closely, he's going to give you some avenues, some things that you can navigate to get to where you're comfortable in your position. So if you felt the pressure, the sense that something is becoming bigger is coming, you got that feeling right. So help me bring to the stage our next guest, Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger. What's up, Doc? How are you, man? Good to see you.
Hey, Geoff, comeback king, how are you?
Oh, fantastic,
We
fantastic,
finally
man.
made it. We
We
finally
met.
made it.
That's it. Persist until you win, man. That's our culture, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Great to be
man.
here
So
today with you.
glad to have you. Glad to have you, man. So we were talking before the show started, and really kind of kicking into what we'd like to do. But if there's anything that you want to get out of this, so people that can think about and then we'll kind of back into it. But what do you, when you're done with this, man? What do you want people to really get away with today? Take away with today from our conversation that's yet to be had.
That's a great question, Geoff. So, my wish for the viewers today is to really be receptive to being open to receiving information. And so many of us, like myself, for decades, was in a little box and doing what we were expected to do and to follow the rules or regulations that were put out there for us.
Right.
And I came to a point where I realized that, you know what, these rules and regulations aren't working. And there are other ways of doing things that will help us to improve our lives outside of a broken and corrupt system. I am of the belief through my own experiences that we live in a world of broken and corrupt systems, and those systems that are being created by the those individuals who benefit from it, but the masses don't.
Right.
And unfortunately, I came to that realization after the fact. But what I always say is better late than never. And the point here is be receptive, step into your uncomfortable zone, get the information. If it resonates, great. If it doesn't resonate, great. Or reach out to get some more information, because in that way, you as an individual can make your own educated decision. Because I was always listening to the doctors, to the financial planners, to the accountants, so forth and so on.
Right.
Professionals are trained within a broken system, and we need to understand the pros and cons of what's really out there, which I call the true state of affairs, and be able to come to realization that, you know what, this isn't working for me. And we as individuals become the CEO of our lives rather than puppets to a system that is manipulating us.
Yeah, and I like people to hear you say, when you say broken, the system that really is not designed to allow us to step into who we're meant to be and how we can be the best person.
Yeah.
It's entrepreneurship wise, or even best employee, creator. Like, we're all creators, so I
Right.
get that. There's a whole conversation around what we learn in school and why we are focused on learning the things we are learning in school versus the things that help us have a better life. To be that better person, be more financially responsible, be able to communicate at all levels on an international
Right.
level, just all of these things, man. So, but when you realize the system, at what point in your life, you're like, man, something's not right. I mean, what
Yeah.
about that? What's the switch?
That's a great question, Geoff. So I came to the realization when I left corporate America in August 15th of 2015.
Wow.
I'll never forget the day.
15 or
I was
15.
working in a very toxic, hostile work environment. I was actually out on disability for 6 months because I was managing 23 projects. And, for one individual, that's a lot. Most of my team, I won't say most, I will say a majority of my team was in India. So I was in the office at 6 a.m. and then I wouldn't get home till 10 p.m. and then go to sleep and get up and repeat the same thing 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And when I was driving back to work that Monday morning, after being out on disability, the knuckles on my fingers, were turning white, and I'm like, oh my
Wow.
gosh, am I going back to the same old stuff? And
Wow.
it was at that point within a 25-minute drive to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I won't do this anymore. I won't put up with the corporate BS that they put their employees through for the betterment of them rather than the betterment of you, helping them achieve and fill the pockets of the board members and the executives. And that was the first awakening call. I had actually a couple. So, but that was the first one where that's when I left and said, we're all, you talked about purpose. I think it was, you used the word purpose earlier.
Yes.
We were all put here with a purpose.
Yes, sir.
And that was when I realized, you know what, is this my purpose, to fill the pockets of corporate America, or do I have a bigger mission in sight here for me to, disseminate? Because I always was of well, I shouldn't say this. The last 10 years of my corporate life, I'm like, I want to be able to leave this world having made an impact.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
working for corporate America, being a slave to corporate America and filling their pockets it was starting to click in my head saying, you know what, this isn't resonating with me.
Right.
What do I need to do different that will allow me to make an impact on the world or on individuals, meaning individuals or families, cohesively? And that is when I said, you know what, I need to go out and do some soul searching. And that's what happened after August 15th of 2015, is going out and doing my own soul searching. Right. And finding my purpose, because we all were put here for a reason. I found my reason, and it's been a journey. It's been up and down, to be transparent, but I think every journey is up and down.
That's right.
We learn from those experiences. We learn from the successes, from the failures, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
And that was the first awakening.
Well, they say, and sounds like you have a mixture of both. People generally don't make changes unless there's some pain related or some seeking of pleasure, right? So right. you had the white knuckles, and then from that you were led to what you are doing now. And so it's possible, right? People that you can experience both, but one or the other is going to move you to the next thing. So you did that 15, and you started to move differently. Where'd you start? Wait a minute.
I wasn't around 15.
I was using 15. I
2015.
2015. 2015, the 15th day, right? So thank you for helping me, man, because that was a long time. I wasn't here.
Oh, man, I look good for 15 to 20.
We both do if that was the case, man. But it's not. Thank goodness. But you're right. So yes, tell me about that. What was it? The first.
Yeah. Thing. So I mean, my journey really started August 15th, and the next pivot for me was in 2018. I had some health issues, and it was a compilation of a multitude of things, but my doctor wanted to put me onto a 6th medication. And that was when reality for me personally hit and said, you know what, this isn't working for me, because my objective was to come off of the medications. And my doctor told me that I had to be on medications for the rest of my life. So it was October actually of 2018 when I said, no, I'm taking control. I'm going to start exploring holistic options, hence abundance and optimum wellness, because I am of the belief that we all should be living a life of abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And that was really one of the big, the second shift of my journey, if you will, to understanding that, you know what, we have ancient Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, plant-based protocols that were around for centuries. And to be on medications was not a path for me, because unfortunately my father passed away at 71 from type 2 diabetes, leg amputation, heart disease, along with other, medical issues, and taking 12 medications. And I am 71 today, today as of October of 2026. So I've beat that family tradition of type 2 diabetes, because unfortunately his sister, then his youngest brother, passed away from type 2 diabetes. So it's about getting educated. And as we spoke off camera, I'm not 100% against Western medicine. It has its time and it has its place. The objective here is really understanding and getting to the root cause of what is going on with you from a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, as well as financial. I'm going to throw that in as well.
Yeah.
Perspective to find out, okay, well, what can we do to address it?
Right.
So that's when I became certified as a holistic wellness coach, focusing on the gut microbiome,
Right.
which we know is where everything starts.
That's right.
Well, let me put it this way. It starts here. What are you putting in here to go down there
Yeah.
and facilitate what is happening throughout, your body?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in your body, to communicate with the rest of the bodily systems that you have. And it was really a rude awakening to understanding the significance of this. And, we go back centuries, with regards to, understanding that gut health is a significant important part of our lifestyle. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, today's medicine doesn't cover that. At this point, I'll say a majority of it, because most doctors only get 8 hours of nutritional training
Yeah.
in
That's
their
crazy.
residency and whether it's residency or medical school, I don't remember right now.
Yeah.
But I do have several doctor friends, and they say we don't get trained on nutrition. We
Right.
get trained on the green book, the pharmaceutical. Let's
Yes.
flip through the pages. Okay, well, let's try this. Let's try that. If that doesn't work, well, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
I have family members. I've got a nephew who is bipolar. He's gone through 18 different medications. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try the next one. Let's try the next one.
Yeah.
So we are the guinea pigs to a pharmaceutical company,
Right.
in our industry, if I should say, that is not really looking at the root cause. And I'm going to use the word healing. We need to heal from this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's a whole nother topic with regards to pharmaceuticals, our food, chemtrails, so forth and so on. There is so much out there that I've learned since 2018, and I continue to learn. And it's about becoming aware of what's going on and how you can potentially divert from these, these things that are really having an impact on your body temple.
No, I love how you use the word body temple, Doc. And really, as you were talking, I was thinking about, if you say, hey, I hear what he's saying, I understand, I want to change my family. And if you're not certain how, when next time you're in the grocery store, just grab a bunch of the things that you're eating and then read the ingredients.
Yes.
And for every item that you pick up, for every word that you can't pronounce, if you're like me and you can't pronounce it, then you shouldn't be eating it. Exactly. So that's the one, that's a simple way of doing it. I mean, you've studied it, you understand, but I mean, that's because the body is designed to do a certain thing with whatever we put into it, like you were saying.
Right.
And once we start getting all those other things that are created to extend the shelf life and create a hunger in your body and trick your body into feeling certain ways.
Yes. Yes.
So I couldn't help myself there. I mean, you were just, you're right on point with what we're doing and what we're talking about.
Yeah. Let me just add this, Geoff, if I may. One of the biggest discoveries, which is only one of a multitude of them, is that I learned that glyphosate. Do you know what glyphosate is?
I've heard of it. No, I don't. I'm writing it down.
So glyphosate is a chemical that is in the product called Roundup. And Roundup is a pesticide killer that is sprayed onto our, into the fields of farmers, wheat, corn, soy, so forth and so on. And this glyphosate was actually patented in 1973 as an antibiotic. This is the poison. It's a poison that is patented. and has been injected into the genes of corn and soy. Hence, we have GMO, and that's where GMO comes from.
Okay.
Genetically modified organism, and the farmers were forced to purchase the seeds of corn and soy from Monsanto, who has hence been since purchased by Bayer.
Yeah.
So the seeds get you sick, and Bayer finds the prescriptions that will help you with, band-aiding the ramifications of eating the corn and soy that has been tainted with GMO. And that's just the foundation. We can go into, the chemtrails with the metals that are being sprayed in the air for, filling our bodies with heavy metals, which need to be detoxified, on top of, we won't go into the boom, boom, boom type of thing. And, it's just, I encourage people to do their research and to really, look out there. I say outside of the mainstream stuff out there, because I grew up as a baby boomer. As I said, I'm 71 years old.
Yeah.
The government wouldn't do that to us. The medical system wouldn't do that to us. The financial system wouldn't do that.
Oh, no, they do it.
They're all screwing us.
Yeah, they would never think of that. The doctor, I got to go see him because he's going to tell me what I need to do to get better. But, it's not about, hey, listen, go clean out everything in the refrigerator, go plant a garden, and don't drink from well water and all those other little things that feed it, right? I mean, so I get that, and but it's important for people to do the research outside of the traditional means, and I love that. And maybe we can get you back to really kind of break down some of the things that our body is really battling with, that most people are congesting every day. And really just kind of give them something to think about. But for today, I want to make sure we kind of get to some of talk about the blockchain and get into something that, in spite of the fact that it didn't work out well for you, you're still a proponent of it. And so let's talk a little bit more about that piece of it. Because I love what we've been talking about.
That was the start of my journey. It was a holistic part of it, but the reality is during my being a certified holistic wellness coach, focusing on the gut microbiome, every single one of my students, their number one complaint was finances. And when you deal with pharmaceuticals, they're paid for the most part by insurance, but plant-based protocols, clinically trialed, are not paid for by insurance because they want you on the medicines. And those companies who produce there's some amazing products out there. They're out-of-pocket costs for the consumer. And so I got it because in the introduction, you talked about 9/11 in 2008. Unfortunately, I'd lost over 90 to 95% of my retirement because of those two. And then in 2020, 2021, my 401ks were turning into 101ks and one flatlined. And that was another rude awakening to say, okay, that system isn't working. What is? Now, granted, there are some people who have done very, very well. However, there are some of those people who have had inside information who are doing extremely well. We won't get into that. But the masses, and I'm talking more about the baby boomers, have lost, a lot of their retirement. And then we get back into the kids today, where there's so much information about the kids today, can't even buy a home. They can't even start a family.
Yeah.
So that is when I started to really explore, especially when the 401ks were turning into 101ks and one flatline. It's like, okay, There's got to be something else different here.
Right.
And it took me back to 2009 as an ex-software engineer. I was approached in 2009 with the opportunity of purchasing 500 Bitcoin at 0.0017 cents. That's an 85-cent investment, 500 coins. My response, sounds like a scam. So we know where Bitcoin has gone today. It's gone up to 130, around 130,000 per coin. I didn't even check what it is today, but it's pretty high. So
like
the reality is that digital
53,000.
currency is the future. And that is when I started to really look into blockchain technologies. And I never wanted to get back into technology, but you know what? It is the future. I tell people today, think back decades ago when Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon introduced their technologies then.
That's right.
And they were like, oh my gosh, this is like, it'll never last. It's a fad, it's this, it's that.
Yeah.
But look at where they are today. They're industry giants.
Yeah.
And that's where we are today with blockchain technologies. So it's about stepping into, again, your uncomfortable zone and start to get educated about what is happening today that's changing the world, for the future.
Right.
And your kids will, or I'll say, kids, grandkids, more so on the grandkids.
Grandkids, yeah.
They won't even understand what a fiat is. It'll be digital currency.
Yeah.
And that's where we're headed. And that's when I decided, okay, I need to, really start looking at this. And what was even more of a catalyst for me personally was during that time in 2021, 2021, I was talking to my financial planner. I said, aren't you willing to look into what is happening now that's changing the future? Oh, no, that's garbage. That won't last. And when we decided to pull our monies out after all that financial loss, he went ballistic. And I'm like, why are you going ballistic? He said, well, you have to be patient. The market will come back. And I said, dude, I'm going to be 70 years old in 2 years. I don't have time to wait for the market to come back. I've been listening to you for almost 15 years. The market will come back. The market will come back. I've been hearing this from 9/11, 2008, when the banks got all their money back. We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. Banks did.
Right, exactly. So it's like, you know what? I need to be the CEO and start making some changes. And so that was the caveat to moving over to the blockchain technologies and start embracing that and look into that whole platform, if you will, and see what kind of changes I can make, we can make, and that I can share with people. And if it resonates, great. If it doesn't, again, it doesn't. My whole objective here is to be that conduit to providing information, kind of directing them, and providing that those nuggets, if you will.
Yeah.
But then ultimately they have to make the final decision.
Yeah.
I've learned this through biting the bullet and being the man who was like, oh, I can do everything myself. I don't need you. I don't need that. I don't need this. And so I have coaches now.
Right.
I'm working with a multimillionaire who, was a multimillionaire at 27 in real estate. So he's a wealth coach. He's a life coach. So I learned from him. I learned from others as well about, where we are today and where we are headed.
Yeah.
So,
it's really important to be in that circle where people are they're ahead of the direction and they can see what's coming and understand where all of that is.
Yeah.
Right. Because crypto is another one where, they're there's a Clarity Act that's being signed that's going to really change that
Right.
whole game, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
But I want you to kind of, in the very basic fundamentals, tell people what is blockchain, because people hear
Yeah.
it, but
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what's it really. What is it?
Absolutely. So it's really the next generation of the WWW.
Okay.
You know, we are in a, and I talked about broken and corrupt systems. Why is that? Because those companies were able to manipulate their data to
Mm,
provide false information. Blockchain negates that. Blockchain is 100% transparency. You can't change data on a blockchain.
mm,
All right. The only thing that can change is if you sell an asset,
okay.
and so everything is traceable.
Mm,
So
mm,
you've
mm,
got integrity, you've got transparency that has been implemented through blockchain technologies to eliminate the fraud, the scandals,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
all of the things that have been happening over decades to, you know, to kind of like throw out disillusion to the people and to the authorities, because
Mm.
when you provide, well, I made $150,000 when in fact you made, $5.6 million, and they can't find that because you've hidden and you've changed the data. Well,
Yeah.
here are the true facts. So
Nice.
that is a one of the biggest things with blockchain technology and moving forward is being transparent and providing more value, not only to the companies, but more so for individuals. Because
Yeah.
as I talked about circumventing the system, those systems were created for those individuals who created those systems to benefit from the masses.
Hmm.
Now this blockchain technology opens up the doors for the
Yeah.
masses to be able to participate, at a level where you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest.
Okay.
And
And when,
that's the
so,
beauty of this. For the betterment of humanity, it's like we need to put products and services in place that are for the betterment of humanity.
okay. So, and when you say participating, so what are some places that they could, those that are really wanting to put their feet in them,
Yeah,
put their toe in there, what are some places where they could participate? What would you suggest?
yeah. So that's a great question, Jeff. There's a lot of great projects out there. I am aligned as a global ambassador for a high tech company that is going global. We're actually launching in the United States, and I'm helping facilitate that. So our product and portfolio is built on blockchain, and we have products and services that are registered with government agencies. They're registered with the appropriate agencies, if you will, from a blockchain perspective. When it comes to coins, tokens, and NFTs for real estate, we're the first company to successfully tokenize real estate on the blockchain technology,
Yeah.
and we have properties that are being developed from a global perspective. Our first property that was successfully transitioned was an apartment complex in Dubai back in 2019. And
Wow.
now we have a property in Zanzibar. It's a high-end hotel and resorts facility. It's being broken down into 3 phases.
Mm.
And right now, phase one is broken ground, and there's what's called fractional ownership. You
Yep.
don't need hundreds of $1,000s to invest into this high-end hotel and resorts. You can invest, as low as 200, 500, 1,000, ten
Yeah.
thousand
Yeah.
dollars
Yeah.
to be able to generate dividends from
Hmm.
those. Just like you go out and buy stock in a company. This is
Yeah.
all it's all part of shareholding within these different projects. So that's our property
Hmm.
entity. We have a what's called a metaverse that is a blockchain technology. We're actually developing 5 continents. The first one is an ILM Versity. So it's an educational, it's basically a metaverse, virtual campus where
Mm.
students can go into the metaverse and go to chemistry, go to physics, go
Yeah.
to, whatever subject that it, in that they're interested in, and go in and be taught by Einstein, be taught by Marie Curie,
Mm.
so forth and so on.
Nice.
We have a real estate. Well, it's actually called Business Bay, which is
Hmm.
geared on our real estate portfolio, and we're developing a real estate virtual reality metaverse real estate expo where
Wow.
you can showcase your properties and your projects
Hmm.
in the metaverse 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
So this is all evolving technology. The three others, we've got Gameaholic, we've got Eureka. Gameaholic is games. Eureka is geared more on content creation and um, programming, if you will. And then the last one is Dope, which is the entertainment and sports, where you can attend sporting events in the metaverse, concerts and shows, so forth and so on. So this is an evolving technology, and what's great about it is that this is backed and accredited by Microsoft, Amazon Web Services.
Yeah.
We've won multiple awards. We were written up in Forbes magazine. So there's a lot of accreditation from a global perspective with
Yeah.
this. And these
Yeah.
are some of the nuggets that I encourage people to, seek out and get this information when you're looking at different opportunities. Who's backing them? Where are they getting their financing? And
Hmm.
as I'm helping facilitate this in the U.S. market, we're just getting ready to officially launch in the U.S. market. I've been sharing
Awesome.
this for a couple of years, but it's
Yeah.
on a small scale. But now it's on a bigger scale because I'm meeting the CEO and the
Yeah.
chief technology officer in Miami in a couple of weeks, and then we're heading up to New York City, and we're starting to explore options for investors, angel investors, seed funding,
Hmm.
so forth and so on, to
Hmm.
help facilitate the launch. And we are registered in the United States as a business and facilitating this opportunity here as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's phenomenal, man. I was just thinking back early on when we first met, and you were talking about the real estate more so than some of the other things. And then, in my real estate experience, people were talking about the metaverse and buying real estate and all of these things. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm grateful that I just didn't say, I didn't dive all in, but I stayed close enough to watch how
Yeah,
it's moving. And,
yeah,
and
absolutely. And if I could throw this in as well, tomorrow on my podcast, Holistic
yes,
True Wealth,
yes.
I'm interviewing Dr. Tahir Hussein, and we are going to be talking about our Zanzibar property,
Nice.
where we do have what's called NFTs, which is fractional ownership opportunities. And
Hmm.
Zanzibar is, and we'll be talking about this as well, Zanzibar is the up and coming resort area, because right now they have 80% occupancy rate throughout the year.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunity. Plus, they're building some amazing digital cities there, and it's going to increase the value of the property, so forth and so on. And this is another potential of people looking into diversifying their portfolio, not only for themselves but for generations ahead, for their kids, their
Right.
grandkids, because
Right.
this does definitely produce dividends
Yeah.
from that property.
And let's face it, getting access to properties for the average person is going to be much more difficult as time continues on.
Right. Yes,
And
absolutely.
particularly in the traditional way of doing it. So
Yeah.
certainly, I was going to make sure that you had a chance to announce that, because I saw that, and hopefully I can catch the live, and if not the replay, because I'm interested in hearing from the
Yes.
resources. I
Yes.
understand the power of what you guys are talking about. So, Doc,
Right.
and we've already pushed up against the times. It's been phenomenal. But before I do want to make sure that you answer this, and I really appreciate everything you've shared so far.
Sure.
And
Thank
what
you.
true wealth? Tell us what true wealth actually looks like in this new era.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's thank you for asking that, because that was part of my journey, and I just changed it to embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world, as you can see underneath here.
Yeah.
And during my journey, I've gone through multiple transformations, if you will, and it's all about evolving
Yeah.
and improving and changing your mindset and getting better understanding. And as I mentioned earlier in the beginning about abundance and optimum wellness, it was about being able to create a lifestyle to live in abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially.
Mm.
And what's transparent is that for the first several years, I never talked about finances because my finances were in the pit, and I was embarrassed. I was
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
However, that's all changed, and I'm
Mm.
like, okay, well, this is a new shift for me. True wealth is a compilation of being able to, through my show, what I do is my objective is to be able to introduce people who have tools and resources, allowing my viewers to pick and choose to help them create a lifestyle to live in
Yeah.
abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And
Hmm.
when you have a combination of all of those, I call that the perfect formula
Yeah.
for abundance and optimum wellness. Because once you have financial freedom, financial wealth, then pretty much everything else falls into place because you have the finances to be able to um, go out there from a holistic perspective. Because you're
Yeah.
not going to find it in a pharmaceutical perspective, because you're always going to the chemicals are going to be interfering with your mindset, your thoughts, your physical, your mental well-being,
Yeah.
and that will lead into your spiritual as well. And that I've learned from my own experiences, for me personally, and I just share that. Again, if it resonates,
Hmm.
great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that has been my journey, is to be able to encompass that true wealth, because
Yeah.
true wealth isn't isolated. It's a compilation of all those entities,
Yeah.
bringing it together synergistically, where
Yeah.
they're all married together and really performing, producing that energy that we should be living that way. And we're not, because of the broken systems that are keeping us down and
Yeah.
keeping us broke. Um, job, just over
Yeah.
broke, broke or
Just so.
disabled.
Yeah. 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 I love that. And you're right. Those five elements, man, blended together, that everything else just kind of falls off, right? Because
Yes, yes.
we're in that space of calm and peace, and everything's lined up, and energy is, because we're all bodies of energy.
Right, and
Is
that's
in
that's
place.
my body. That's my bodies up here. They're intertwined each other, and
Mm.
then I've got the financial, emblem there for
Yeah. I
financial
see
freedom,
it.
which is encompasses it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can get another look. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see it there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, listen, man, God, I think we touched on most of the things I wanted people to hear about, and really just kind of get a quick glimpse of you and what you're doing, which is amazing things. And keeping all five things together it's not easy, but it's possible.
No,
And
exactly.
and coming back through the life's lessons are I think are designed to really make us who we're supposed to be. And you're just getting started on some amazing things. So um,
Exactly.
man, is there any last words? How you want to tie this thing up in a couple sentences, and I'll let you go. What would you do that for, or how would
I
you
would
do
like to. I'd like to tie it up where I encourage people to keep an open mind.
it? Mm,
Try not to stay closed minded, because there's so many people out there that are afraid, and I understand, because I was afraid for decades of stepping out, because the norm is be in a box and be told, do what you're told to do.
yeah,
You know what? That's not life.
yeah,
It's time to break out and be who you're supposed to be, and start to explore that. Because when I started to do that, yeah, I was scared. I was scared, excuse my French, but scared shitless. However, as I moved forward in that, even though I fell down, I got up, moved forward, fell down, got up, the more I started to realize, oh my gosh, there's so much out there that I wasn't, I didn't realize. And there's so many opportunities that will help you get to the next level. And it's just taking one step at a time, because that's all we can do. I can't take 30 years, 40 years, 50 years of time that's in the past and move forward.
Right.
It's now, what do I have right now that will take me to the next step?
That's right.
As I journey till when I used to say 6 feet under, but no, I want to be thrown into the Gulf of America.
There you go.
That's where I want to go. So
there you go.
Keep an open mind, because there is hope. And in 2018, that was my whole thing. There's got to be hope. There's got to be some kind of hope out there to get off these meds. That was the start of my journey, and it's just taken me to all different types of directions, writing ebooks and international speaking and being a publisher on different multiple magazines, so forth and so on. And it continues to grow from there. So it's really opened up many, many doors, which I've never thought. And being an honorary doctorate was never in the cards. And I received that in September of 2024. So I'm forever humbly grateful. And Dr. Tahir, who I'm interviewing tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, he was the catalyst he and Lothar Rapior were the two catalysts to introduce me to potentially being a candidate for this program.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, man, that's amazing. And I just want to add one thing too. 71 coming up. Not quite 71. So
I'll be 72 in October.
Oh, 72 in October. So you've already eclipsed the boundaries around your family history.
Yes.
And so you're living proof that it does work. And
exactly.
So you got I'm wishing 71 more years on you, my brother.
Thank you. Wow. 142.
142, man. Hey, people are living longer and healthier. Hey, brother, man. Hoping everybody around you follows the same suit, man, so you have that population. And keep changing lives, Doc. Keep being the man that you are and making a difference throughout this world, man. And thank you again
for
Jeffrey.
Spending
some time with us.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. See everybody.
All right. Take care, Doc. We'll see you.
You too.
Yeah. So, man, listen. Boy, most of you are going to catch the replay, make sure you go back and spend some time listening to what he's talking about. I mean, we just scratched the surface on several different things, but most importantly, he said something that's really important. A lot of things, but make sure that you do your research and don't be afraid to make some decisions. Don't be afraid of the information because you're not familiar with it. Don't be afraid of choices that you may or may not need to make or know how to make because there's resources out there. And make sure that you catch his show tomorrow. He said Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I think I don't want to say the wrong time, but if you need that information, I'll be sure to get that to you. So reach out to me if you're interested in the show. And when most of you, like I said, will watch the replay, show some love to Doc. And man, I encourage you. Encourage you to do this one thing, and that's take a listen to what he's talking about. Understand what blockchain is. Understand that technology is moving so quickly, right? I mean, so fast that people can't hire people to do things with technology because the technology is changing. So they need to learn it on themselves. And so there's all kinds of stuff moving on, but there's no better time than now to understand the power that the gift of the comeback is real. And it is not a limitation. It's a lifestyle. As we always say in conversations with Geoff, is we believe let's amplify this message worldwide, become a movement around seeing our comebacks as a true lifestyle and not a limitation. Let's rise together, baby. We'll see you on the next episode. Reach out to us, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.